So this is my writer's journal. Sorry, this is the third time I've done this video. It's not going well. I wasn't going to do planner. I said I'd put aside all my planners, but I thought I'd like a little bullet journal just to keep very basic information. And so this is a notebook therapy book. I do love a nice notebook therapy notebook. They've got nice thick pages that take a lot of different pens that it won't go through. So inside I've started this. This is writing journal. There we go. I'd messed up this page. I had printed this out and I was going to do, I can't remember what I was going to do. Messed up anyway. So I've just put a lot of washi tape down to cover it up. I'd only went round there to do it, and I thought, oh bugger it, I'll do the whole page. Put that in. I made that in my editing software. And then I put a little dragon, and it was kind of matched the colours, plus it was, it filled that blank space up there, a big space. Then my calendar page, which again I messed up. I only had the washi tape along the top and maybe down the sides just to form a square around it. And I messed up the calendar bits. And then I did something else. I think I tried to put gold in it. Oh, it was just me. It was, right, washi tape. Fixes everything. And then I just printed out the calendars. This is my yearly overview. I remember doing it. I've only put in so far the goals, so I'd like to publish 2 books and start making an income. I don't mean like thousands of pounds a week, a month. I mean just start doing a little bit, and then I can hopefully build on it over the months to come. Build up my social media profiles and gain more followers. That's in an effort to, when I was doing the Bang to Write Academy, and I spoke to Lucy, and she says publishers and agents and people like that are looking for promotable authors. So I'm trying to build up my social media. I mean, it's something I always keep meaning to do. Never get round to it because I'm terrible at social media, but make an effort. Maybe good things will happen, you never know. So yeah, that's my yearly overview. I will fill that out more, obviously. My December prep. This is what I want to get in place before the end of December, so I can just start the new year with a clean slate, basically. So I finish the first draft of my Cozy Fantasy, create new logos for my website and social media accounts so everything is cohesive and looks, you know, all the same, basically. So everybody, you just pop on and you'll know it's me. These are the quarters, what I plan to do each quarter. Again, this is something I need to fill out. And it might go, what the hell is that? Whatever. So obviously in the first quarter, I'd like to publish the Cozy Fantasy and start my newsletter. This is my social media. I've written down schedules. Not my newsletter. I'm not sure what I want to do for my newsletter. If I want to do monthly or bi-monthly. You know, you don't want to annoy people, but you also want to keep them up to date, sort of thing, you know. So that's something I'll think about. But these are just the schedules and maybe just a little bit of an idea of what direction to go in. The Bang to Write Academy modules. These are all the ones that I would like to watch and take notes on. Most of these are either about story or novels. She has an awful lot more on screenwriting, but for the moment these are all just to do with novel writing or storytelling. So I've got those two. This is well worth buying, by the way. Anybody that's interested, it's bangtowrite.com. And yeah, she's very approachable and she's very informative. A lot of information there, and she just keeps adding more and more. So yeah, very well, well worth the money. This is my reading tracker that I want to do. I've hardly read anything this year. I've done some rereading. I've maybe read a couple of new books, and that's been about it. Now, if you remember, this is my reading journal that I set up last year. And I've done nothing with it. I set it up. And yeah, like I said, I've been rereading, which is not new books, and I've only read a couple of new ones which didn't even go in here. So I've got all these pages that, I mean, this is still something I want to do. That obviously I've done. Maybe not all the fairy tales, but certainly the TV series, because I rewatch that quite a few times, maybe once a year, because I really, really enjoy it. The release radar for last year. Some of these are bought, some are just in my wish list. My series tracker. Again, not filled out. And some of these I've actually, because I have been unhauling a lot, I've been really brutal. So some of these, I don't think I've got this one anymore. And maybe another one, I can't remember. But yeah, nothing. There's my backlog. Could never touch that. I actually tell a lie, I did the rig, but I only started it. I didn't finish it. So maybe that'll be something I'll watch. I'll read. Anyway. So then, like I say, I've got all these pages. Fantasy, sci-fi, horror reads, fantasy, romance reads. And these pages for, you know, book covers of the ones I've read. And then we're into January. And then that was it. Nothing else. All blank. So what I might do is I actually might start using this again. Using it again. Didn't even use it the first time. God's sake. I'll start using it for this year. But it might just be reviews. Because you watch these journaling videos on YouTube and they're wonderful, and they've got stat pages and they've got unhauls and hauls and things like that, and I'm like, you know what, no, I'm just you get swept up in it and you watch one and you go, oh, I'm going to do that, and then it's like, no, don't bother. So these might just be review pages, and you know, fill in these ones here. All I need to do is just blank out that. I'll put a sticker or something over it, and there we go. It's a reading journal, not a reading journal 2024. Anyway, back to this. So yes, for this, all I was going to do is the date I finished it and the title of the book. My project tracker, where I want to just track, you know, outlining, drafting, editing, publishing, that sort of thing in there. And I have 2 double pages here, so I'm very optimistic for this year, obviously. Do you like the little clip that comes with this, by the way? This is a little paper clip, and it is a little fox. He's really cute, and I'll do that there. So then we get into the monthly page, and this is, I decided I would like to do a theme for each month of book series or authors that really inspired me to become a writer or just fall in love with the fantasy genre in general. So this is Dragon Riders of Pern, and this is Anne McCaffrey. I absolutely love these books. This is really what got me start to read fantasy. I mean, I'd read the Narnia books when I was younger, all that, and though I loved them, this was the pivotal moment of when I fell in love with fantasy. So this is Meneley, and this is our fire lizards. And then we have just like silhouettes of dragons. I don't know if you can see it. I used a metallic watercolour. I'm not sure if it's picked up in the light because it keeps getting really dull and then brightening up a bit. And then a little quote that says, the dragons could never understand why they generated such abject fear in common folk. And then when we go over here, this is the calendar page. The wash is a bit more pink than I realised, which I'm not bothered by. Also put stickers of red dragons because I had a lot of dragon stickers, and there are no red dragons on Pern. It's gold, bronze, brown, blue and green, and one white one called Ruth. So the red one, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have bothered with that, but there we go. I wasn't wasting stickers. And so they were all I had. So that was my calendar page, and I'm going to put a little colour code key here for social media, website, things like that. And that will be, you know, just to keep an eye on what I'm doing. Fill it out the beginning of each month. A schedule, if you will. This one, this here, I seen on, it was Tor.com's blog. I think I was looking up bullet journals for writers. And this one came up, and it's Jen Lyons who wrote The Fate of Kings. Let me check. Yeah, so Jen Lyons, sorry it took a while, wrote The Ruin of Kings. And this blog was, showed her bullet journal, which was really interesting. And she did this. She did a little word count, a monthly one for, and then, you know, each day. Her squares were for like 500 words. I'm doing mine for 100. And I just want to see through the month if I can build this up. So I imagine first, to start with, it's going to be a lot of blank space here. And I'm wanting to build it up, you know, to get more and more. That's what I'm hoping. So each week as well, it's just very basic. These are the symbols for the weirs in Pern. Each one, this is like Fort Weir, Bendon Weir, I think that is Ista, I can't remember. So that was her little emblem, and I just put in, you know, week 1. Put like a monthly calendar there, and then that's the week we're on. Project is what I'm working on. I want to see, for a basic 80,000 word novel, I want to see how many weeks it'll take me. My goal is for 10,000 words a week. This is something, it could be doable because I work 6 till 2, Monday to Friday. I'm off every weekend. And I do go to my bed at 9, sometimes 8:30 if how tired I am. But that's the reason why I am very tired some days when I come home. So I'm not sure, not every day is going to be a writing day, but I will try. I figure maybe I could get 1,000 words a day. That'll leave me 5,000 at the weekend to do. But we'll see. This is not, like I say, set in stone. This is a goal, not necessarily what I have to do. So that'll be a 10,000 word goal, and then this is what I actually do. My habit tracker is the days I write, read. Social is not necessarily uploading. In part, it's not uploading. It's maybe just popping into a Facebook group or commenting on something on Instagram, YouTube, something like that, to try and build more of a community and support more people as well. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And then of course there's just the notes section at the bottom there. And each week is the same. All it changes that I go down the week, so that'll be the same, then that's the 3rd week. That's all I do, but they're all the same. And then we get to the back here, and this is a little journaling space, so that'll be a review of the week and then maybe what to adjust going forward. So like I said, I am doing books that inspired me themes. Sorry, I'm a bit rattling here. So that means I've written a list of the books through the years that have inspired me. So obviously Dragon Riders of Pern, I've already started that. There's the Black Jewels series by Anne Bishop. Love those books, reread them quite a bit. They were also a big influence for Sarah J Maas and our court books. From what I've heard, quite a big influence. I've not read them myself, I'm not really interested. Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. I love her books. She's a must buy as soon as she has a book out. And good news, she has apparently, she's working on 2 new novels. I'm hoping it continues Bee's story, but we'll see. There's June, the June books by Frank Herbert. Loved that one. I'm not a huge sci-fi fan. I do read science fiction, and in fact I've started reading a bit more over the past few years. I wouldn't say this year, because nope, didn't read anything this year. Chronicles of Narnia, loved those books, and I was going to make that the first one, but I think I might leave that till Christmas of next year, because I always think of it as it's a Christmassy kind of book, don't know why. Legend by David Gemmell. David Gemmell is really good at writing secondary characters, I think. You always want to know more about them. Unfortunately, this is an author, a British author that's passed away quite a few years ago, but there is still the David Gemmell Awards, book awards, and I think one for artists as well, you know, book cover artists, I'm sure. But I'd love to have won. I would love to win that award. It's a little miniature axe from Trust the Axeman, who's the legend, basically. Blackthorn and Grimm by Juliet Marillier. This is an older protagonist. She's very feisty, very set in her ways, very independent, doesn't let anybody in, sort of thing. And then there's Grimm, who is, I suppose he is the romantic interest, but is a very slow burn, which I like. He's very, very quiet, the sort of gentle giant of the thing, always there to protect her and help her, whether she wants it or not. The Discworld by Terry Pratchett, love those books, they're so funny. I'll definitely need to do a spread for that one. I'll just have to try and figure out how to do that. Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure about this one because I love the movies, the books. An awful lot of fantasy readers say, oh, Lord of the Rings is the one that started me on, you know, of my love of fantasy. But I have to say, I didn't read Lord of the Rings until I was pregnant with my first child. So I'm not sure about that one. I love the movies, and I do love all the aesthetic of Lord of the Rings. Hawk and Fisher by Simon R. Green. This is a husband and wife, again, older protagonist, husband and wife police team. Again, in the fantasy world, I just love those books. How many times can I say yeah, I just loved them. I thought it was a great idea to have a married couple as your main protagonists, fighting evil. There's Ostenard by Tad Williams, that started with the Dragonbone Chair in the Memory, Sorrow and Thorn trilogy. And he's just released, you know, he's continued the series years later, and I've just got all those new books that are just waiting to be read now. The Belgariad by David Eddings. It's one of the, in fact, it probably was the first, apart from Narnia, I suppose, first big series that I read, you know, because it was 5 books, and then it went on to the Malorian, is that the one? Afterwards, which was another 5 books, so it was the first series I read, and I suppose these days they would be classed as YA. But I really enjoyed those books. Sword of Shadows, J.V. Jones. This is like the Fortress of Grey Ice, the Sword of Red Ice. We're still waiting for it to be finished. Again, it was another author that's just had a lot of things happening in her life that's kind of stalled the writing of the last one, but she is in the process of writing it. Follow her on Patreon. All those people that complain about George R.R. Martin not finishing Sword of Fire and Ice, I read Mel Neron's, is it Exiles trilogy? Call it a trilogy. She hasn't finished it. The last one was like 1994 it was out, 1997 maybe. So even longer we've been waiting. So all these people that complain about George R.R. Martin should, you know, suck it up basically. Is it nothing? And again, that was an author who had a lot of health problems, and I think death in the family, all that just knocked her off course basically. And I'm not one of those readers that, you know, will harass a writer just to finish their books or things like that. If you're waiting for a book, find another author to read. There's loads of them out there. You don't need to be harassing, you know, a certain one. Rant over. The Rift War Saga by Raymond E. Feist. This did take me a while to start reading, way back when Magician first came out, mainly because the protagonist was called Pug. And I was like, what the hell? Why is your main protagonist called Pug after an ugly dog? Apologies to all pug owners there. But I read it, and you know, the main character, its name does get changed. I really enjoyed that one, and it's still something that, yeah, he's still writing in that world. The Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms books. Now, I know these are probably for, well, they would be classed as YA these days, but I really enjoyed them. They were great. They're just loads of the fantasy tropes, and I love a good trope. I don't admit, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Love a good trope, and they were tropes galore. Loved those books, and I think I'll definitely add that one in. See, when you're writing a list like this, you always sit down and you're writing it and all that, and you're looking at your shelf and you're like, oh, I like that one. And then it's only once I've started doing this, I'm like, oh, blast it, I should have had that one in. I should have had Terry Brooks' Shannara books in. I should have had Carl Edward Wagner's Kane books. You know, I would say they were more like grimdark before grimdark became a thing. All these ones, there was a, oh gosh, what was the science fiction one? Now I've forgotten it. Science fiction series that I read. Oh, I can't remember. Old brain. So yes, anyway, that is what I have so far. And I'm not going to be adding anything else into it, because you could just do that. You know, you see something, you're like, oh, that's pretty, I could do that, and you add it in. And then you don't use it. So I am going to leave it there. This is my writing journal. This is my journal for 2025. I've kept it basic deliberately, so I will actually use it and not get overwhelmed by all different things. It might change, but at the moment it's pretty much going to stay how it is, at least for a couple of months, just to see how it goes. No, bugger it. Anyway, if you like this, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your plans are for 2025. Show me your, you know, writing journals, things like that, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.